Yo, welcome to Containing Luxury. On today's episode, we're going to be doing a walkthrough of Movable Roots, which is a cool tiny home builder here in, where are we? Melbourne, Florida. Let's get started. All right, so one thing that's really cool about Movable Roots is that they actually manufacture their trailers here on site, which is something I didn't know until we got here today. So we're gonna go check out their own manufacturing plant in here. So what do we got here?
So this is actually our trailer jig that we use to kind of make sure that all of our trailers are made square.
So it's like your mold.
Yep, exactly, right?
Okay.
So what we've got here are the parts to the trailer that you'll see next door. We actually start with the trailer upside down because we put a belly pan on the trailer. So it's easier for us to kind of get that belly pan on the trailer while it's upside down. So we kind of do it in two stages. While it's upside down, we paint it, put our belly pan on, then we rotate it. We got a big rotisserie basically where we rotate it. That trailer is actually going to be a gooseneck trailer.
Okay.
So we actually have some I-beams here and the actual frame for above the gooseneck, the bed part.
Cool. And then the tongue would attach down here?
Correct. Yep. So we have additional I-beams that will come across and carry the load.
And then the belly pan is really a structural steel frame that allows for like a black tank and a gray water tank?
So most of our tiny homes are really meant to kind of park longer term.
Okay.
So gray and black tanks are, you know, per customer build, right?
Gotcha.
So a majority of ours, in fact, do not have tanks.
Okay.
They're made to kind of go to a location that already has some sort of utilities there for them.
And that's the same as ours too. Like we didn't build a black tank in or any type of holding tank for gray water or black water. And if you don't know, black water is going to be your toilets, gray water is going to be your sinks. So in this case, like he said, it's going to be custom. They're all not going to come that way. Where you'd find mostly like in RVs, you will a lot of time have black water tanks and gray water tanks. We're not going to put them in our builds unless it's specified for that customer.
Yeah, exactly. So, if the customer needs it, we can definitely do it. But again, you know, the whole idea and the concept here of even our video is, you know, the movability of tiny homes. And, you know, while they are mobile, they really are designed to kind of be longer term, not a weekend warrior kind of camping trailer.
Exactly. And that's a major difference you're going to find between tiny homes and just your standard RV. You know, these are really custom tailored to be a home more than an RV, but still have the accessibility and mobility of an RV. So awesome. Let's move on to paint. So we went from the jig to the actual trailer frame, not the actual trailer, but the frame. So you can see he doesn't right now have the tongue attached to it, but you can kind of go over what this stage is for.
Yeah, so this bay kind of does all-encompasses stuff, right? So right now, it's in our paint stage. As you can kind of see, the axle shackles are kind of pointing up. That's kind of showing you that the trailer is actually upside down right now. It just got its coat of black oxide Sherwin-Williams paint. And what we'll do next is we allow this paint to dry and we start our aluminum belly pan. What we utilize this space for in our builds, and again, kind of you know, being a complete custom builder, we can kind of fluctuate that. Is we use this space here to transport all of our drain lines, right? So that nothing is actually up underneath the trailer in that clear space that can be hit by road debris or things like that.
That makes sense.
And it also helps for other climates, right? We're lucky here in Florida. We don't really get much of a winter, but our homes kind of transport all over the US. So you could be in Maine with some, you know, sub-zero kind of temperatures, and you want to make sure that those are all encompassed in that insulation and safe from the weather.
It's also going to give you a little bit more headroom because you're now not eating up floor space to put all your plumbing, your waste lines inside the frame rather than having to build a subframe on top of it. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there are some builders out there that will build a subframe on top of the trailer. And in some ways that can be a little bit easier. They're not having to kind of deal with the steel or things like that, or attaching to the steel. We've kind of done our due diligence and got all the right kind of tools to be able to attach everything directly to the steel and save on that, 4 or 5 inches of headroom.
And the other side of it is a lot of them aren't building their own frames. They're starting with a different frame and building the tiny home on top of it.
Yep.
Whereas you guys are custom building it so you can do a little bit more than they could kind of get away with.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Why don't you put the whole tongue system on?
Because it's upside down right now.
Gotcha.
Right. So in this process, if this was a conventional tow trailer, you would see the hitch already on here, right? In a gooseneck, it's a little bit different because the gooseneck raises about 4-foot step to get into the bed of the truck. It would have to be a lot higher in order to weld it all at once.
This is a gooseneck frame.
This is a gooseneck frame.
Okay, because I saw you had a big 40-foot with a tow behind.
Yep.
But in that case, you would have had it welded on.
Correct. It would have been all welded. You would see the hitch plate and coupler all on the front. Being a true custom kind of builder, and you know this, I've seen this on your channel, you start everything with a plan, right?
Exactly.
And we do the same thing. So with our designs, we're not so worried about maybe, let's say, a toilet location, which is pretty important in the plumbing stage, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what we can do building the trailers ourselves is we can fluctuate those cross members to make sure that that toilet can go exactly where we want it in the plans.
So you can cheat things that are structural a little bit to make things 100% where you want them.
100%.
That's pretty cool. All right, Mike, so tell me a little bit about the magic that happens in this area.
Well, believe it or not, it's a little dirty right now, but this is kind of our favorite kind of space. Being coming from the residential building world, working out of a trailer, you don't get a table saw like that. No. You don't get a deck like that. It's difficult sometimes to have functioning chop saws with stable kind of square.
We're making do with blocks laying on the ground. And
So this is kind of in my world, this is my favorite space. This is where we create, whatever we need to do for the space. So
awesome. All right, so you guys are doing a lot of the shiplath here, I see. Do you also do cabinets, or is that something?
Yeah, so we do basically cabinets all in-house too. Okay. So everything's customized. Again, when you're going to that smaller kind of floor plan, your kind of RTA cabinets that you can make work in a 10 by 10 kitchen
aren't gonna work here.
Aren't gonna work functionally here, right? Yeah. You can make them, you can kind of adjust them, but you're not really utilizing the space to its full potential, trying to kind of plug RTA.
So virtually everything's gotta be made custom here, so hence having your own millwork location. You can custom build cabinets, you can get your shiplap done, your window frames, your doors. Yep. So that makes some things pretty nice to be able to work right here.
It is, for sure.
All right, Mike, so what is the time frame from start to finish? Because I know there's a lot that goes on here, from custom building the trailers to layouts and plans and design and getting everything into your frame and then erecting the structure, interior finishing. So what's like the all-around time frame that we're looking at?
Yeah, so depending on kind of customization of the unit itself, we plan about 3 to 4 weeks in our design phase, right? So that's where we're doing basically plans, and we're going a lot of kind of communication, email. We use Dropbox for renderings, all those kinds of things, and there's a lot of back and forth between us and the customer. Once that's done, then we go into kind of the sales contract kind of build phase, right? Build phase right now is running anywhere between 2 to 3 months, again, depending on the size and the customization.
Gotcha. So you actually are doing a ton of that design work before you even get into the sales contract stuff?
Oh yeah, so we have a design phase that actually has a cost to it. Okay. And so at the end of that design phase, maybe life's changed. Yeah. Maybe, something's happened in your life where this isn't gonna work for you, or it needs to be postponed a few months. There's actually no obligation to kind of move forward at that point. Wow. So it really kind of works good for both of us. There's that kind of point where you still own the plans. Yeah. You could still, build it down the road, but there's no kind of tie from that point. So
it's just a paid section of the groundwork that you guys have had to do.
Correct.
But they still have ownership to it.
Correct.
So that's really important. That's one thing that when you're working with any builder, that you really want to make sure that we've discussed previous how important it is to have that plan and how much of this time frame goes into just the design aspects. But the fact that they're willing to share that at a cost is a great thing, and it kind of, if they get to a stopping point, and they need to delay it, they haven't lost everything. So that's really cool. It's a nice thing for them, but it's also fair that we have to charge for this kind of stuff. So much of that legwork goes into the design. You can't just do it for free. You know, you lost 4 weeks with how many people? So after that design phase, what's the next thing that kind of...
So then we go into the build contract, and,
okay.
and you know, currently we have a waiting list, right? So right now we're about 4 weeks out from being able to start your house. So let's say we finish the design phase, you say, hey, I'm ready to go. We would start your trailer at about 4 weeks out. You would get into that rotation, right?
Cool.
So,
and then what, once you get the start of actual construction work on it, when do you think the time frame, I mean, obviously it comes down to how custom it is, but on a typical build, you know, from start of construction to completion?
Yep. Our normal builds are running anywhere between that 8 to 12 weeks from the start of the trailer. This one that we're going to tour later today, 42 feet long, complete high-end custom, that one's running closer to 14 weeks.
Okay. So really, if you were talking from the preliminary stages of when we're just getting our ideas, we're coming up with a design, it's probably around 6 months to where you actually have completed design, completed construction, you're pulling out of here.
Yep.
All right, that's good to know. That's a pretty quick turnaround. Sure. All right, so that was it for today, guys. We hope you liked the tour of Movable Roots here with Mike. And if you guys have any questions, hit the comments. Otherwise, check the links below to Mike's site. And anything you guys want from him, this is the man. This is the place to get it. So thanks a lot, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Blake.